Hello and welcome to the show. Now, Nissan Skylines have an interesting track record when it comes to being turned into rally cars for my various series. In Horizon 2, very, very quick indeed, but in Horizon 3 they have tended to struggle. So, today's car, well, I'm hoping might change that. This is the Nismo GT-R LM. Looks absolutely fantastic. I fear it might have a little bit high starting PI for this to work out, although things like the Donkervoort, for example, had a very high starting PI and was still pretty fast. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Rules for this series, cars must be all-wheel drive. So that's the first thing we are going to do. Now, that is going to make our car a little bit heavier, but it doesn't add too much PI on, which is good. That is good news indeed. I was tempted, I was very tempted in fact, to put the V8 into it just to annoy everybody imaginable. I'm not going to swap the engine, don't worry. It is tempting though. It is tempting to annoy people. Tyres, of course, we're going to be using the snow compound of tyres. We're going to be racing up a snowy road. Ooh, this looks promising. Oh, this looks very promising indeed. They are massive front tyres. 305s at the front, and I'm going to imagine similar 305s at the rear. That's good. That's good. In fact, having such huge tyres at the front is very, very good indeed. We might actually have some half-decent turning in a car for once, which would be nice. There is Forza Aero on top of the car's crazy body kit that it comes with at the front, and at the rear we're going to... I kind of like the car's normal wing, but I want downforce. It also gives us a couple more PI to play with, which is always nice. I need the downforce. I need the downforce on the car. I'm actually quite surprised this comes with a rear wing. I was expecting it to be like the Mercedes 190e and that sort of stuff that already comes with adjustable downforce rear wing. Apparently not, though, on our Skyline. Now, brakes, suspension, and so on are also a given. It's what we do about weight versus power that is the conundrum here. I do want to try and get some weight out of the car. It is... and I say relatively heavy, you know, we're talking in terms of the cars that have gone before in this series. I think I kind of do want to go full weight reduction, get down to £3,100. You have got to bear in mind, the Volvo that went to the top of the leaderboard last time out had 800 horsepower and was a fraction lighter than this car. Admittedly, this does have much bigger tyres than the Volvo, so this is going to be about corner speed. There is no doubt about that with the Nissan. I'm hoping, though, that there will be a decent amount of power to be got out of the engine. We might have to go for... these turbos aren't... I was expecting this to have ludicrous power from the likes of the turbos and so on, but it doesn't. That is a surprise. That is a surprise to me, actually. Camshafts, I'm going to have to get them on as well. I was expecting more power out of this engine. I'm going to be honest. 487 horsepower. I mean, when I say I was expecting more power out of the engine, I was expecting more power out of the engine. You know, we almost got the full amount of parts on the car. That's surprising, but there we go. Okay, what we might do is we'll go for sport flywheel, sorry, and then we will go into here and put all of these bits and pieces on the car. Because we changed the driveline, it does tend to change all the gearbox and clutch, so it already to a relatively high tier 1, so these don't add a huge amount of PI. We will get the driveline on as well. I'll have a look back just in case we can sneak the flywheel in. No, we can't. I didn't think we'd get those on, so yeah, we want a bit of a compromise between the pair, between sort of flywheel and driveline, etc. We're not going to get anything like intercooler and so on. Sometimes these don't add PI because they add weight as well as power, but we can't do that. 487 horsepower is not as bad as it could be. I do think this will be faster than the normal R33 Skyline that went up the course. Yeah, £3,100. It is a little bit on the heavier side compared to some of the vehicles that have gone. What I am hoping, and the way that this car is going to go fast, if it's going to go fast, it is going to go fast because it can carry quarter speed, much like the Lamborghini Countach. That is going to be, I think, our best bet with the Nismo. Of course, we are off to the Devil's Corners hill climb with our Skyline. I'm going to get 3 runs through this course to try and beat the time set by the Volvo 242. 1:57.0 is the quickest time up this course. I'm not sure the Nismo is going to have the speed to challenge that. We shall see. It revs like mad. That's quite fun. Although it doesn't go very quickly. It makes a lot of noise, but I say it doesn't go very quickly. You know, that was 110-ish miles an hour into the turn one. It doesn't go very quickly in comparison to some other vehicles. I'm going to have to really remember to change down gears. First gear is actually quite long in this car. It does seem to handle quite nicely through, if we can get a better line. It's a terrible line by me, but there we go. Speaking of kind of targets, the R33 that went up this course at a 159.9, so I guess that's kind of where we're aiming for, because I'm not sure we're going to have just the power to get really near the top of the table, but I did think that about the Countach, when the Countach went as fast as it did. That currently sits in third at the moment, so with some corner speed, maybe we can do it in the Nismo. It certainly does feel good through the corners. It's just really, really lacking in the acceleration department. So we were clearing 100 miles an hour for this jump in the Volvo. We're barely at 90 in the Nismo. Try and make up. Oh, can't make up that much time though through the corners. I tried throwing it at it and it didn't really work. Bloody hell, this sounds like this is well over 10,000 RPM. That's crazy. In the concentrate on trying to actually get quarter speed out of the car though. That is the issue here. Oh, I've tried to be brave, and it's pretty decent around there, but it's not, I don't think, going to be enough as we head on towards the icy straight once more. This is probably not going to be a big fan of the ice and the bumps, and it's gone round. Only the second car to have a spin on the straight. The Donkavor, I managed to keep it out of the walls, not so much. With the Nismo, that does not like the bumps at all down there. Again, not perhaps too surprising. It was not exactly designed as a rally car, this one. As we come through these penultimate couple of turns and then run towards the line. Yeah, of course. Always going to be a very, very scruffy lap time, stage time with a spin. I do fear we are severely struggling in terms of power, unfortunately, with this car. So, we are on to our second run. If we can keep said Skyline out of the walls, it would be pretty useful. However, we have got a lot of time to try and find through these corners. I don't know quite how I did it with the Countach, and we're going to have to try and do a similar thing with the Skyline if we want to go quickly. I'm not sure that the power delivery just doesn't seem great with this. I wonder if we've got crazy turbo lag going on, and with such a huge amount of revs, you're kind of constantly faffing around with your gears. You're not really, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it gets going. It revs a lot. It makes a lot of noise, but there's not a huge amount of go in it, which is a little bit of a problem, really, on a course like this. It does feel great through these corners. There is no doubt about that. But then once we're out of it, I mean, we're doing 120 in the Volvo. We're doing 20 miles an hour quicker, because I think we're doing 125 when we were getting on the brakes there. 20 miles an hour in that shorter a straight. That's so much time to be losing that you've then got to try and find a way to make up through the corners. And this is undoubtedly a better car handling-wise than the Volvo. This might even be one of the best cars, I think, that I've driven up this course in terms of grip. But when you are lacking so much in straight line speed, that's when I think it's going to hurt you. That first gear is going to have to be used through there. Now, can we get... We should be flat out easily here, and indeed we are. But it's the icy straights to come here that might be a problem. Avoid the bumps, that's much better. We should be able to throw it in with some speed. Not as much speed as I kind of hoped through there, but there we go. I was a little bit probably nervous about turning in, didn't want to clip the ice patch on the way into that corner. Oh, and I'm throwing it in with way too much speed through the penultimate turn. I guess I was kind of seeing what we could and couldn't get away with. It's not going to be great, though. Oh, that's 201.3. It puts it down there with the Honda S800 at the moment. I don't know where I'm going to find speed. We need to find some speed. I'm just not sure where that's going to be achievable. So it is on to our final run. At a second and a bit is the time we need to make up. Where? As I said, no idea. No idea, really. Admittedly, yeah, it was a little bit scruffy at the very end of that run, but it's just not fast enough. It's exactly the same problems that we've had with the Skylines previous. And honestly, statistic-wise, this was kind of looking like it might be one of the faster ones. It's just not. It's just not working on this course. Yes, admittedly, it is, you know, much more a road-going car, this one, or a track car, essentially. But we've had the Donkavort go up here, and that was very, very quick. This just can't. It just can't carry the quarter speed necessary to overcome its shortcomings. I mean, the Donkavort had similar power to this, not quite as much, but similar power to this, and was insanely light. It just, yeah, there's not the acceleration. I am hoping, though, we are doing, I think, a little bit better on this run of first gear, because it just doesn't get going out of these corners. That's where we're really lacking. It is faster this time around. I'm not even going to bother changing up into third, because we're only going to slow down again into this hairpin. Come on, Skyline, trying to make the most of your strengths. Because much like with the XJ220, it's a nice car to drive up here, and if you weren't looking at the speed, you'd be having a lot of fun with this car. If you weren't looking at the time that it is taking, if you weren't worrying about how quickly you were getting up a snowy mountain, yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun indeed, and having 10,500 RPM to play with is always entertaining. But it's just not very fast. It is just not very fast at all. Up this course. Come on, Skyline. That's a little bit better through there. Now, don't run too wide into that penultimate corner. There we go. Now we can be neater through here. Accelerate towards the line. Can we go sub 2 minute? We can't. It was close, but we couldn't do it. 2 minute point 3. I mean, we found a second. Found a second on that final run, but I'm not sure there is much more to be got out of that Skyline. It will go right down towards the bottom of the table. It is in 18th place. It goes a fraction quicker than the Renault Alpine. It does beat the two crazies, the Subaru Brat and the Honda S800, but it loses out to the Jaguar XJ220. It is a little bit slower than the normal R33 Skyline, you know, the Volvo V60, the Fiat 131 Abarth. The Fiat was a ludicrous, absurd thing. It's, well, a second down on the Transit. It's not a good thing to be a second down on a Transit when it comes to a race, but there we go. It's just, yeah, it doesn't get out of corners. There is no acceleration. As I said, there is a hell of a lot of noise. Sounds great. Not much movement at all. In fact, if any, out of a lot of these corners. A lovely car through the turns itself. Yeah, great grip in the Skyline, but it loses so much time in acceleration that, yeah, we are some 3 seconds down on that Volvo 242. I'm a little disappointed, actually. I was thinking this had a good chance of going very, very quickly, but that was not to be. However, it is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.